So I just want to show people this for a second. That as we're sending money off to Ukraine, United States just sent another 725 million dollars on top of the billions and billions of dollars that are wasted over there. They're sending more money off to Israel. Canada just allocated itself to $19.5 billion more to NATO as our country is striving to survive, as we're dealing with cost of inflation and crises within our country. Here's what's happening, and this is an update in North Carolina. Now, obviously, they had a hurricane. These are people that are struggling. These are people that were left out, that just got the cold shoulder from people like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and FEMA, and they're still struggling. And winter is coming. And if along the east coast of the United States and right now here in Canada, they're dealing with cold temperatures. They're dealing with snow. They're dealing with, blizzards right now. So CBS News finally came to this, saying months after Hurricane Helene ravaged North Carolina, families are still living in tents and shelters as winter brings new challenges. Volunteers are stepping up, but the needs remains urgent. So here's what CBS News, they did a report of what's happened in North Carolina. Listen to this.
We're delivering a different type of storm to hurricane-ravaged western North Carolina.
What do you need?
Just people to come check on us. So, I don't know.
His home destroyed. Steve Crowell showed us the tent he lived in for weeks.
Is this your food in boxes?
Well, yeah, people drop stuff off that we already have, and most of it's expired food.
This is how hundreds of people are still living in western North Carolina, in campers and in tents amid bitterly cold temperatures.
Shauna Levine's family with 7 children has been staying in this shelter, a former Gold's Gym, for 2 months.
How do you think your kids are doing?
They're struggling, but they're managing it well. Definitely has affected them.
Dozens of people who lost their homes are staying here, but the lease is up. They have to be out by the end of the month.
We are refusing to let these people be out in the street. We're gonna find a place for each and every person.
The need across western North Carolina is staggering.
Would you like a soup and sandwich?
Volunteers at this free food site in hard-hit Swannanoa are cooking 800 meals a week.
This is 100% people taking care of people.
Chris Smith has volunteered every day since the storm hit.
No conditions, no politics. It's just, there's hungry people, we need to feed them.
Relief centers with washing machines, Wi-Fi, and hot showers are a lifeline. Amid the daily struggles, there is progress.
Okay, Isaac.
Levine and her family will finally leave the shelter this week. Not a permanent home, but 2 camper vans to be shared by 9.
How has this experience changed your family?
I think it has made us closer. Families have been torn apart, and we still have one another.
Here in Swannanoa, along the river, it's more like a campground than a neighborhood. The homes here, they are either gone or unlivable, left behind the debris and campers and tents people are now calling their homes. Nora.
So, every time I see any coverage of North Carolina, it makes me angry. It makes me angry in the fact that what these people have gone through, how the federal government, the response was just absolutely disgusting. The fact that they gave them the cold shoulder, the fact that they won't allocate money towards relief fund, how people are still waiting for that promise check that, Kamala Harris committed to. Remember that $750 check? We'll get to you shortly at some point. I don't know if you have mailboxes to mail them, but we'll get to you maybe sometime. There's still people in Hawaii that still haven't got the checks when that burnt down. There's still people that are wondering if FEMA's going to tackle the chemical spill that happened in East Palestine, Ohio. So it frustrates me and it angers me as a Canadian to watch this and to know that your tax, like if I was in North Carolina, if I was one of those people that got stuck in this situation And I feel so bad for those people. If I was stuck in that situation and knowing that your tax dollars that's supposed to be allocated towards a situation like this, that your tax dollars are supposed to go away to FEMA in the case of a natural disaster, that is more of a real American first value of tax dollars being invested to Americans than the amount of money that's being wasted on foreign warfare. The fact that they were able to send over $100 billion, and now considering all the additures that they added on to Ukraine, it's almost $1 trillion. So, trillions of dollars being sent to Ukraine like that. No accountability, no hesitation, no debate. But yet you have people, and you could see behind this reporter here how disastrous it is, these conditions are. That people trying to look for this disaster relief are being told they don't have it. They don't have the money. They don't have the means. And if you're telling me that you just print money at whim to go spend on warfare, that if you have the money to send to Wall Street, there should be no excuse for this. There should be no excuse to have this situation. And considering the fact that winter is coming, these shelters now have to kick these people out. They have nowhere to go. They're going to be cold on the streets. And you're going to let this part of the country die off so we can send more money to a cokehead like Zelensky, who's going to put us into World War III, who's going to put us into nuclear warfare. It's just baffling. It's just baffling. And you have the leaders of FEMA, telling you that, oh, there's nothing we can do. We don't have the money. We don't have the money. And that's the anyway, let's show you this video here. So that was what CBS reported here. Now here's News Nation. And News Nation, I give credit to this network. I wasn't too sure because with Chris Cuomo being part of this and, just regular mainstream media, you never know what kind of the verdict is. But I give credit to News Nation for being the kind of the only voice to be there for the hurricane victims. Because if you remember our last segment on Hurricane Helene, that people were still trying to deal with FEMA. They were trying to still get the small business claims and loans that they were being denied. News Nation was covering all that. And you don't see that ever on any other outlet. So I give credit to this. And I give credit to what you're about to see here when they invite on the mayor of the city that's dealing with the amount of people that are intense and one of the victims here. And they're about to discuss the good and bad and ugly of the situation as winter is approaching, as these people are dealing with the cold winter snow and the upcoming winter conditions. So listen to this.
We begin tonight with Bill St. Pierre, who's been on the ground helping those affected, and Mayor Michael Sobel from Black Mountain, North Carolina. Gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you. Bill, there was just a tweet that got put out by FEMA, helpfully talking about how great they've been and how many people they are helping. As you've been on the ground with folks, do you see that FEMA has been doing enough?
I haven't seen FEMA do anything since I've been down there. I've seen their vehicles. I've seen their flags flying. The amount of families that I've been in contact with, working with, I have not seen FEMA anywhere.
Tell me some of the stories.
And also, to add to that, FEMA was restricting volunteers to help people in the remote areas. As you recall, the last time we reported on this, there was a story about a man who had a helicopter license and was going to use one of the choppers to go rescue people in the remote mountain areas in North Carolina. And he was refused. And they said, if you go over there and rescue those people, we are going to arrest you. They were going to arrest a volunteer for helping one of his members of the community. That's what FEMA was doing. That's what the feds were doing. As the feds were deliberately trying to ignore this disaster. So this is all intentional. This is definitely intentional. And like I said, if they can give a lump sum of money, a huge money laundering to foreign nations to advance warfare, to kill one another, there should be no excuse for this situation. There should be no excuse that people in North Carolina still have not received any aid whatsoever. And as much as it saddens me and much as it sickens me, the federal response, and if I was in that situation, I would not be whatsoever considerate of any government agency in regards to this. I would not be too keen with FEMA. I would not be too kind with, the Democrats or Republicans. I would not be too keen to paying taxes, in all seriousness. Because where's this money going to? This money is supposed to be my money that you put aside for a situation like this. And now you're telling me I can't get any of it. So what is the point? What is the point of contributing to this democracy when you pretty much put your own citizens as outcasts and lead them out to dry? Bleed them out on the streets in a situation like this. So anyway, here's
the families that have affected you the most.
Well, I can go forever. One family, she grew up in this home. Her great grandfather built it. It flooded, kind of knocked it off the foundation a little bit, but they basically lost everything in their 70s. She has stage 4 cancer. They take care of their Shriner grandson. He is a 40-year vet, and they have nothing. And they were given a little bit of FEMA money, but it's not even going to pay for the cleanup. There was a guy that was helping me unload my trailer a couple of weeks ago down in Jefferson, North Carolina. He was working at a distribution center, and he had cancer. And he was helping me unload the trailer, lost his mobile home, taking care of his 7-year-old daughter. And I called him the other day, and his camper just burned down because he's trying to keep it warm. So I could go on for hours.
Yeah,
the people that I've talked to, the people that I've seen, the look in their eyes, the devastation that they're going through, this isn't the American way. And I finally had to start doing something. I had to start using my platform, my Facebook, my social media, like all the other people are down there, because nobody else is helping. So we're going to do it the way we're doing it, raising money and make this happen.
And that's the American.
So this is where I call on the MAGA crowd, the Make America Great Again. If you really are keen to that motto, if you're one of those people that strongly believe in the motto of Make America Great Again, where's the call to action to your representatives, to the people of Congress, to the federal responders, to get their butt into gear to actually do something for these people? As we're sending millions upwards to billions, almost trillions of dollars, if we calculate all the conglomerate measures that we send off to Ukraine, with no accountability, no hesitation, just like that. Gave them just a lump sum of money, just like that, of your tax dollars. As they're telling people in North Carolina, we don't have the money to support you, that you're going to have to survive in these tents, that you're going to have to survive on the streets. And as winter is coming, as these people are striving to survive, and thank God for people within the community, that's the only thing that gives me hope and optimism at a time like this, is that seeing the community, seeing people that could be Trump voters, that could be Kamala supporters, that could be all sorts of people. At a time of need, people can drop, their politics aside. They can drop whatever differences they have and come together in resilience to help one another. And that's one of the greatest things to see out of this. But it's not enough. It's not enough. And considering the fact that the federal government has stepped in to block these people, it's even more disgusting. It's even more disgusting. So now, we're going to hear from the mayor of one of the towns here, and he has a very interesting take to this. Listen.
Way, right? The worst times bring out the best sometimes, oftentimes in America. Mayor, I know it's difficult as a local official to be caught between wanting help from your community, from FEMA, and then trying to help the folks who are so desperate that you represent. Help us understand this giant disconnect between what we hear that FEMA is doing a great job and they're everywhere and these stories that are being told and we have every reason to believe are true.
Well, I have to challenge St. Pierre. There's no question that FEMA has not done as much as what people want. However, FEMA is not Jesus Christ. We can't expect miracles overnight. I know that in the town of Black Mountain, FEMA has done a damn good job. They have given people, they have helped people. Have they completely made everyone whole? Absolutely not.
But there's people living in...
So this guy's argument is, well, FEMA did what they could. They're not Jesus Christ, you know. It takes a miracle to actually help people. It takes a miracle. It takes a miracle to take tax dollars that those people paid for in an emergency situation like this and put that towards rebuilding. It takes a miracle. But I guess it's not a miracle to get a bunch of money to send to slaughter people overseas. Well, we did everything we could. It's not a miracle. We're not Jesus Christ, you know. As these people are living in tent trailers, and one of the guys' trailer was burnt down because he was trying to heat it. Because they don't have heat. They don't have electricity. They don't have running water. The last report they did, they had to share a porta potty. They had to rent a porta potty. Not only had to share it, but they had to rent it. And like I said, if they could spend trillions of dollars on endless warfare, if the Pentagon can lose trillions of dollars without Congress batting an eye, there should be no excuse. No goddamn excuse that North Carolina is struggling like this. There should be no goddamn excuse. There should be no homelessness in America. They say it takes like, what, 20 million a year to end homelessness in America? They could easily do it. Easily. Done. But there's no initiative to it. There's no initiative to do it. And you get scumbags like this mayor here. You're not Jesus Christ, you know. Well, what has he done? Has he challenged Congress? Has he actually done anything? Or has he just sat on his ass and wait for some sort of miracle to happen? Is he trying to play the Jesus card? So, here's more of this.
You've got to understand that it takes a while to do this.
67 days and people are still living in tents. We have video of the FEMA compound. They seem to be doing pretty well. I can't figure. I'm just trying to figure out what people should expect, and it doesn't seem 67 days is too long to expect a trailer that the government has money for, is it?
And I don't know if people can see the chyron there. We'll put back bigger screen. So as this guy is trying to defend the horrific FEMA fiasco of how these people got screwed out of their own money, how people are deviously screwed, that this is intentional, how America just gave them a finger and told them to go pound sand. Look underneath this. National disgrace. Biden announces $1 billion in relief for Africa. Where's the miracle for that? Where was the sit-down conversation? Oh my God, where's that money coming from? $1 billion to Africa, just like that. They just announced it on the Chiron as they're having a discussion on how we get money to help the people in North Carolina. Oh, well, we did the best we could. We did the best we could. There's nothing we can do. I mean, you expect us like a miracle. Holy crap. This is an utter disgrace. This is an utter disgrace, and this is done intentional. And it really, really aggravates me. It really pisses me off.
Well, you said that they should be able to buy 20,000 trailers. I own trailer parks. I know what trailers are like. Do you realize how long it would take to get 20,000 trailers?
It would take a while.
There's
That's
not
fair.
20,000 trailers out there. Now, that would be a good thing. There's no question it would be good. It'd be good for them to bring them in. But for right now, they don't have the resource. They've got the resources, the money to buy them. But the trailers are not available. People are living in tents. Yes, they are. And I'm sorry. But let's look at the other side of it. Our community has stepped out and helped so many people. There are churches around in here.
That's what's incredible, right? Thanks for watching.
So, and yeah, he brings up churches. He brings up, they mentioned about gyms, how they're reaching out to people, and that's good. That's good. That's one of the things that makes me feel optimistic is that there are places that are willing to reach out a helping hand. But aside from that, this guy is sidestepping on the fact that his town is devastated. He's not willing to step up and do anything or challenge anybody to actually move ahead to actually help these people in need. In fact, he is deflecting. He's defending FEMA. And I don't know why. Why exactly would he be doing this? Why would he not be standing tall and going against the grain and telling FEMA, hey, if you could send all these trailers for you guys in this compound just quickly like that, why are we not getting trailers? I own a trailer park. He could use that leverage. I own a trailer park. I can get you some trailers. I can figure out other people have trailers. We can coordinate it out. We can find a calculation. It would definitely be a lot cheaper than the money we sent to Ukraine, and more feasible and more of an interest to America. That would actually be investing in your own people and make things better. But as you saw, America does not stand for Americans. And here's this. This is from CNS News. As we just saw in the Chiron there. America last. Biden regime approves more than $1 billion in aid to Africa, including natural disasters. So it's not even America the last. It's America the FU. It's literally America, I don't care. And here's him announcing this in Africa.
It's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. And today, I'm announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes by historic droughts and food insecurity. We know African leaders and citizens are seeking more than just aid. You seek investment. So the United States is expanding our relationship all across Africa, from assistance.
And that right there might have just revealed the intention of why he's doing this. Because why in the hell, and I'm not against helping people in need, but as the saying goes, if anyone's ever flown an airplane or been on an airplane, the whole initiative of making sure your mask is on first before you assist somebody else at a time of need, that's vital to the situation we have right now. Like the fact that you're giving $1 billion off to Africa and snubbing the people of North Carolina, your own citizens, that's probably why you lost the election. That's probably why Kamala Harris got what she got deserved. And what I stated in my Substack is one of the many reasons the Democrats completely shit the bed for themselves, and America turned around and gave them the finger as they're giving American citizens the finger. They're flipping them off. But as Biden just said there, it's about investment. we can't lose the relationship with Africa. And concerning the fact that Africa is signing up with BRICS and cutting ties with the American dollar, that's what a lot of African leaders are now stating, that, hey, you people need to cut the American dollar out of your system and go towards this more economically promising situation. You go to places like China, for example. China's going into Africa to build up its infrastructure. And what has America done? Nothing. America has no stance when it comes to Africa. We just blow up countries. We install dictators. We build up terrorist regimes in the area. We have lost all of our credibility, and now our dollar's going away. So now here's Joe Biden saying, oh, here's $1 billion. Please love us. Please love us. Stay within us. Stay within us so we can hijack their resources. Please. And it's not that we don't want to help people. I'm not saying that we have to be completely isolationed away from the rest of the world. But if you can't help your people in need and you're just flourishing to other nations just to get giddy points with them, this is how an empire fails. This is how an empire collapses. They try to extend globally and not have a strong core. And considering a lot of people are living under bridges in America, there's a lot of homelessness across the nation, and dealing with North Carolina right now in the situation that they're in, being snubbed by all this, and you're sending more money off to Ukraine, to Israel, to Taiwan, and to Africa to help their damages, to help your reputation. You're disconnected from the continent, is going to destroy America. It's going to destroy the foundations of America, and that's when your empire collapses within itself. And it's also just a huge disgrace. It's a slap in the face to everybody, and especially North Carolina. And like I said, if I was in that position, and I feel that anger, for me as a Canadian, I feel angered by this. But if I was in that situation, there would not be a chance I'd be giving any ounce of respect to any representative, to anybody, whether Democrat or Republican, that snubbed these people. Why on earth would I give any contribution to them? Why would I bother even voting for them? What's the point? What's the point? Why would I pay my tax dollars then? If it's going to snub away from Americans in need, if we can't even help our own citizens, whether it be in North Carolina or East Palestine, Ohio, or what happened in Maui, if we're just doing this intentionally to destroy the fundamentals of America, then what is the point of participating in it? What's the point of participating in this faux pas democracy when we're not even living in a healthy, representation? These are people on the streets dying from a natural disaster, and you deliberately send that natural disaster relief off to Africa. Why? Because, we need to worry about the investments. Not worry about the people. Not worry about your own citizens that vote you and respect you and all this time gave courteous respect to you. Now they shouldn't. If I was in their shoes, I wouldn't. Because of how just god-awful, just how disgusting, revolting this is. And the fact that they drained all this money away, they drained all the money away for endless warfare and to Wall Street. Amazing how there's never enough funds to, clean up a natural disaster or help people in need. Just like as far back as going to Hurricane Katrina. New Orleans is still a wreck, over 20 years later. There's never enough funds to actually help people, but there's always money. Without a doubt, no hesitation, there's always money to go slaughter people, or to aid Wall Street, or to bail out a bank. but never to bail you out.